What's your take on like relationships in general? Like,
Juicy. My dad has told me that this is like the second most important decision you'll make in your life, next to saying yes to God. For me, as a girl, complete overthinker, I wanted to know if that's the one for me. And I didn't feel like that's too far off to ask because I'm giving my whole heart. Is it worth it or not? That's the actual question. Every day there'll be a new question. What do I text him? What do I say?
Exhausting.
What should I wear for my date? Like whatever it is. What game is he playing with me? Oh, he's actually not playing a game. You know, there have been one or two guys who've come and said, God told them, I'm for them. I also need to hear.
it's a two-way street.
It's two-way, bro. It's two-way. Like, how can I expect to find a perfect guy when I'm not a perfect girl? That takes time to do.
People don't talk about how to properly do this. The only time we talk about something like this is when something bad really happens.
A big breakup.
It's going down spiral and like we have to talk to you.
Yeah.
If something's gonna happen.
If we're gonna keep living.
Yeah. What's your take on like relationships in general, like relationships and dating and stuff? You said like that courting and stuff and
Was
like
that?
what?
It's juicy.
Okay, and stuff like you said like courting and dating like and the way that the world is and stuff. Like break that down.
Yeah, so my parents have a beautiful example for me. That's what I was going for before all this. That's what I was aiming for. Jesus was at the center of it. So both of them asked God first, do I even proceed in this relationship? I think you all talked about it on your podcast as well. Asking God, I know this question may seem outdated to some people, but is this the one for me? In that, for me as a girl and a complete overthinker, I needed to know if I ever felt interested in any guy, I wanted to know if that's the one for me. And I didn't feel like that's too far off to ask because if he's not, then I'm not going to waste any time. I'm not going to waste my heart because I'm giving my whole heart to this person. Is it worth it or not? That's the actual question. Is it worth it or not? So both my parents did that individually with God. They both wanted to hear from each other whether God said the same thing. It's not like there have been one or two guys who've come and said, God told them, I'm for them. Like, I also need to hear. Okay, just because I'm a woman, doesn't mean I don't need to hear. I also need to hear.
It's a two-way street.
It's two-way, bro. It's two ways. So I was saying that before, that ask God about this, because if we ask him about which college, which career, which job, what's my purpose, why not this question? It's a big question. My dad has told me that this is like the second most important decision you'll make in your life, next to saying yes to God. Is
So
saying
the
yes to your
first one
partner.
is saying yes to God.
Saying yes to God. Second is saying yes to your partner because you're going to live with that person for the rest of your life. You're going to become one with that person. So Jesus absolutely needs to be in the center of that. That's how God designed the relationship. In fact, Jesus himself said, right? God joined two together and made them one. The key and the source there is God. So he has to be the center. So what I would advise people, if they're willing to take it from someone like me, is that first say yes to God. Because he will help you navigate all the questions that come with relationships. Every day there'll be a new question. What do I text him? What do I say?
Exhausting.
What should I wear for my date? Like whatever it is. What game is he playing with me? Oh, he's actually not playing a game. Whatever it is, he knows guys and he knows girls and he's able to tell whatever the other side needs to hear. So say yes to God first. And I would tell our youth, don't rush into, like, people are so pressurized nowadays to rush into. I was pressurized in 7th, 8th standard
Oh wow.
to have somebody. Like, what is that? Don't do like this. Don't pressurize people. and take your time saying yes to God. I mean, don't take your time saying yes, but that may be a journey where you're developing, getting into, And I would say, talk to God. Like you all said, this is so important for a Christian that we have a communication, get to know this book. By then, things will start falling into place as to what you need to look for. And also knowing our role as a woman or a man is important according to the word of God.
Know yourself first before you can like take care of another person.
Exactly. I read this beautiful quote when I was, waiting for this kind of relationship, which was, become the kind of person you want to be with. And I was like, oh, I'm not that kind of person. Okay, I have a lot of work to do. Like, how can I expect to find a perfect guy when I'm not a perfect girl? So that takes time to do. And God will kind of get things falling right into place. So there's no, I wouldn't say there's a particular age you have to be going for, a particular weight, height, color, all these things. No, no, no. God will. The main thing is, even in the Bible, you see people getting into marriages based on their religion, based on their faith. That's how the Old Testament marriages worked. It was completely based on we're Israelites, and so we can have arranged marriages. Actually, interestingly, now it's just like some business matchmaking thing. You say God, you say Jesus, you say God, you say Jesus. Okay, like no, there's so much more. There's cultures involved. There's which God knows. So once you have communication with God, you can ask him all those million questions. What should I be looking for? Who, when, where, why? And then after marriage is in a whole nother journey, right?
I think the reason like we get so many questions about like relationships and datings, especially like most of our audience is like 30% is from Tamil Nadu and like stuff. So I think people don't talk about how to properly do this, you
Mm-hmm.
know, especially in homes and churches.
Mm-hmm.
They don't know what to do. Like
Mm.
when stuff like this happen, when we like go through those like teenage years, how do I navigate this? They don't have the right guidance. They've never, literally never talked about this at home or to somebody who knows how to do this.
Mm.
So they get stuff from like really bad examples and like watch movies and stuff and
Right,
like
right,
base their life out of that
right.
and get into a lot of stuff.
Mm.
So I think we've done as a, you know, even in the place I'm at like now in my hometown, I think we've done a poor job of like talking about stuff like this at home and at churches. What do you think?
I'm so grateful that in our home we were quite open, but I'm aware that that's a very rare case because, like, thanks. They were
Thanks,
so
Dad, I guess.
open, and my mom, she would come and tell me like, whenever if anything's going on in your life, especially in this area, just feel free to tell me. So I'm really grateful for that. I think like a lot of my contemporaries are becoming moms now or dads. I think that's a great example to take. Like, be open with your family first of all. And I think people are just scared to talk. Maybe
Yeah,
like the parents who are not talking about it, maybe they didn't get to talk about it with their families either.
yeah. So yeah, I think like the only time we talk about something like this is when something bad really happens, really
A
bad
big
happens,
breakup.
and stuff like is going down spiral, and like we have to talk
Yeah,
to
yeah,
you
yeah,
if
yeah.
something's gonna
If we're
happen.
gonna keep
That's
living.
yeah. Like I said, we've done a really poor job about like talking about this and stuff. And especially because I have like God's given me like so many brothers and sisters around, I see them like struggling with this a lot and they don't want to talk about it because they haven't like seen people talk about
Yeah,
this.
yeah. It can be
And
embarrassing.
yeah, like they don't know like if I talk about this to this person, like are they gonna think that I'm weird, or like they're gonna like push me away, make an example out of me or something. And I've seen people do that too. Like if you talk about something like this, they like think of you like you have a demon or something, or something's like wrong with you.
Yeah.
Dude, I've seen stuff like people say
That's
that to
so
people.
sad.
Demon?
Yeah.
That's little
So
extreme.
like, yeah, they literally said that it's the devil working in you. I was like, maybe it's just my body. Yeah.